Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Dun 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 dun.
I was going to try to do a Richard Nixon impersonation.
Oh, he does good. Do it.
My fellow Americans,
See, so
these are dire days.
and then I do dun 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 dun.
Brace yourselves. Yeah, it feels like it. It's like, gosh, what else could happen? What else could possibly happen? Oh, well, we shouldn't put that out there, should we?
No, let's not. Let's strike that from the record.
You know, it's one thing when you understand the script and you know kind of what's going to happen. Maybe you've even known for a long time. It's another thing to actually watch it all take place.
Indeed it is.
As always, guys, make sure you subscribe to all 3 channels and have the little bell clicked. And again, little quick links are right here. So if you are over at Heart's Home and you want to go to EEARTS, you just click that. You want to go to Evolutionary, you just click that. It takes you right there. Okay. Looks like there might be the beginnings of a bank run at First Republic branch. Yes.
I just want you to remind people what you had to do when you first saw that. They were treating it like it was a dead body or something.
Oh, that's another picture. You know, have you ever been on Twitter and they say this might, have something that is harmful, distasteful, scary, might be offensive to some viewers? Apparently, people in long lines at banks does that. Yeah, I mean, that's what happened with this one. It was like, brace yourself. Are you sure you want to see this? Oh, my God. That's an ugly umbrella. No, it's not the umbrella. It has nothing to do with the umbrella. It's the fact that people maybe are starting to panic a little. Is it time to panic? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm watching and wondering, is this going to cool off or is this the big thing? Again, as far as getting information from the guides, the banking whole scenario is very, very below their frequency. This, as we know, this Babylonian money magic system is most definitely not a high vibrational thing. And there's nothing like this in the higher densities. Just saying, as you see more and more pictures from people getting their money out of another bank. And so Governor Newsom issues statement on Silicon Valley Bank. Over the last 48 hours, I've been in touch with the highest levels of leadership at the White House and Treasury. Oh, God. You're not supposed to give everybody a stomachache with that statement? I mean, yeah, come on. Everybody is working with the FDIC to stabilize the situation as quickly as possible, protect jobs, people's livelihoods, and the entire innovation ecosystem that has served as a tentpole for our economy. Yeah, sure, we understand. Crash everything and then just go in, swoop it all up, restructure. We see records show that Silicon Valley Bank employees received large bonuses on Friday. These bonuses were paid just hours before the regulators seized the bank. Just 2 weeks ago, executives at SVB sold over $5 million in stock. Hope everybody's paying attention. Yeah, the Ponzi scheme has been exposed. A lot of people understand why everything is happening as it is happening. Etsy's warning 7.5 million sellers worldwide that the collapse of SVB on Friday is causing delays in processing payments, according to an email from the company shared with NBC. And this is Edward Dowd. The greatest deflationary cycle ever, I believe, lies ahead. Tim Woods and I discussed stocks, etc. And when you look to that little date down there, 1930, of course, the crash, 1929, where we're at now, it looks like it's getting, as we say in the South, it's fixing to make everything else look pretty darn almost irrelevant.
And you have a blessed day.
Well, that's something else we say in the South. You have a blessed day. And don't let any ash get on you. As we see Mount Merapi on Java erupted, hot ash, clouds, and mixture of rock and lava and gas spread 4.3 miles down its slopes, covering some villages. This is an active volcano, but again, it is a sign of the times. You can't go to the beach again in Florida. Toxic red tide is back to Florida's Gulf Coast with thousands of dead fish covering water and beaches. Here we go again. And so, it was after witnessing the red tide firsthand myself, as I was living 2 blocks from the Gulf, and the stench was overwhelming. It was literally burning your nostrils, burning your throat. It was so horribly toxic feeling. And then walking on the beach and seeing all the dead fish and everything. I mean, sharks, and there were unfortunately dolphins and all sorts of manatees. I mean, it was just horrendous. And and here we go again with another cycle. This is on Venice. This is my old home territory. I used to go to Venice Beach all the time. Chain reaction crash, Hungarian highway, 42 trucks and cars after a dust storm. Ooh, boy, Mother Nature is fixing to create a little havoc. And then, of course, we have all the technology in play. Now, out of all this shouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, in some ways, this really hit me like a belly blow, a punch to the solar plexus. Mexico has submitted a request to join BRICS. Oh, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Now, we were talking about it being BRICS AM now. This is growing. This is what we had touched on before numerous times. When we look at NATO and its allies, and we look at BRICS and what's growing, that side of things is growing rapidly. It's like the whole world is getting ready to unleash. What wrestler used to say, unleash a can of whoop ass? Somebody used to say that. I don't know. You guys might know. But it feels like that's going to happen with the rest of the world, unleashing it on the NATO countries. Here you go. Mexico aligned with China and Russia. And, of course, the 15, somewhere around there, million illegal immigrants in the country already, right now. All those fires, all those trains, all those different things going boom in the night. And then you're going to have a formal alliance on the southern border. This is also why the guides didn't want us being directly on the border. It's not a good situation. We are seriously facing a lot of challenges in the U.S. and in all the NATO countries in particular.
Mm-hmm. It's a big problem.
Yeah, and this gets me thinking of this map. This was a Russian professor's prediction, I want to say back somewhere around 1989-ish. And we've covered this at least half a dozen times. He said the U.S. is going to be split up. It's going to be divided. You see right there 4 pieces. Cindy has gotten in the past 5 pieces. Does it still seem like it's divided into 5 zones?
Yeah, as I'm looking at this, it's very, very close what I picked up, but there's going to be a centerpiece, like a piece in the middle. It's going to be something different, but this is pretty close to what I saw.
Yeah, and, again, the guides won't go and interfere with free will, but they've told us towards the center is typically better. Now, it could be numerous reasons, of course. If you're along the coastlines, we think about the subs and that whole issue. We also think about these weapons that were developed going all the way back to World War II. The U.S., instead of using what they did over in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They were looking at developing bombs that would imitate a tsunami. And Russia has that exact same thing. And this is, again, why we wouldn't be on direct coastal areas. As there are new people coming to the channels and saying, well, what do you think? And that's what we've gotten is, towards the middle is typically better. Out of the big cities is most definitely one of the first things. The big cities are definitely going to have the most chaos. There's no way around it. And then, the biggest targets of the big cities, right off the bat, just automatically to me, it's New York, LA, DC, but then we could keep going on after that, as many cities would be targets for different reasons. Like Houston is a really important port, and you have a naval installation. You have where you have military installations, like in the Carolinas. Again, those can be targets. Jacksonville. I mean, again, you gotta recognize that hashtag number 3 WW is creeping closer every single day. And when you look to this down here, the gray, the Texas Republic, will be part of Mexico or under Mexican influence. Think about it. We want to join BRICS. Yeah, well, at one point in time, Mexico had possession of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, it had California, it had, some of Nevada and Utah as well. Did you know, and maybe you did, that Russia owned Alaska and Hawaii? They had part of Hawaii. They had a colony over in California. They, again, there's they have even made the open statement. Numerous Russian politicians have said that they want their other territories back. And then China has even said, well, since, the original, according to the science that we're given, the Native Americans, they come from Mongolia and China. So, technically, we be liberating our own people, and taking it all back. We'll just take the whole thing back. China, again, you could see what's going on. This is the writing on the table. And the California Republic, part of China or under Chinese influence. Central North American Republic will be part of Canada or under Canadian influence. Now that sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? But when you recognize that, Newsom is lockstep with, again, the few, put it up to the mirror, and Klaus and Co., and how all this is really all just, it's simply about instituting the same sort of system we see over there. By the way, Xi Jinping just won another 5 years. In reality, we know he's president for life, or Tsar or Caesar. Well, Caesar and Tsar basically coming from the same origins there. I think there will be absolutely some leftover European influence, so to speak, in some of the control grid. Obviously, China is just going to be used as the military and police force of the world, just like the U.S. has been used. And we have a British Airways pilot collapses dead shortly before he was due to fly a jet. I mean, can you imagine if he was just starting to take off and then all of a sudden he died suddenly? And this South African musician, 27 years old, collapsed on stage and died. Have you guys noticed? Let me put it out there as we look at a massive CME. This is what I'm saying. I mean, when it rains, it pours. We got like everything happening here. We're just missing the brimstone and frogs coming out of the sky, and then we'll have a full repertoire. Do you guys notice that there seems to be less people in your area? I think it's noticeable at this point. It feels like there are less people out there. And we are in one of the places where the lowest percentage in the whole nation of people, state by state, did a certain thing. So I gotta wonder, are you guys seeing that it just feels like the rush hour traffic isn't so bad? Yeah, there's some craziness out there, but like there's just less people out there.
I think so. It's just that's what we've been hearing from friends.
Yeah, and it does feel to be the case. So look at the Earth scale to understand just how enormous today's solar eruption was, how dense the plasma Cme was, and how lucky we are it was not aimed at Earth. Well, but if we do look over here at Solar Ham, they are saying we're going to get a glancing blow. So, again, just be something to be aware of, because besides, the potential for disrupting all our little gadgets and toys, it actually does have an effect on our consciousness and with many people, the way they feel. Some people, when we have these events, you just feel wiped out, like you can't get out of bed. Other people feel wired, like they can't slow down. So everybody is unique.
It's all about your energies and how they're balancing.
Absolutely. The majority of Americans believe that 46 is compromised by the fine dining ware country. 57.2%. When have we ever heard that? With any other presidency, let's just say that. The majority believe that. And this is, a survey. Now, this looks like this survey is from the Trafalgar Group. As you see, the little symbol for the Convention of States. And, the beat goes on. The sign of the times, guys. Nature's got everything covered, though. I mean, look at this little guy. He's keeping his eyes peeled. He uses his little, whatever those things are, as windshield wipers.
I mean, that's just adorable.
Absolutely. So keep your eyes peeled and look forward to your comments. As always, please do share these videos. Keep waking people up. Have a preparedness plan with neighbors, family, friends. Obviously, we are in for a roller coaster ride like perhaps history has not seen, at least in a couple hundred years.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.